Yo, so guys, welcome back to another video. This is another real life short reaction, and this video has been suggested quite a lot. There's a lot of this channel's videos that I'm going to get to over the coming days, weeks and months, because there's so many different types of videos that you're all suggesting from this channel, and I really have enjoyed the videos I've seen so far. So I know like the ones that I'm going to do come like the next few weeks, few months, etc. are going to be fun to do, but this one is countries that are way bigger than you think. I'm intrigued to see what context this is going to be. I feel like it's going to be on like how like on the maps at the countries at the top, like they look a lot bigger than they actually are in comparison to the countries sort of in the middle. So I'm kind of intrigued to see, like, I have sort of looked into it a bit and I feel like I may have seen a video before. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I have. So it's going to be on that, but I'm interested to see sort of what countries are bigger than they look, because obviously they're not at the top, and again the countries at the top on the globe, or like whatever it's called, it is the globe, are just perceived to look a lot bigger than they actually are. But I think that's what this video is going to be about. I'm not too sure. Maybe it's not, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. But let's just get into this and actually see, because we'll obviously see through the video. But hopefully you're going to enjoy. Links to my Instagram, my Twitter, and my second channel in the description. You guys are supporting me like crazy, and I really want to thank you all. Like my sort of like mind is blown when it comes to the sort of the amount of people who watch these videos, the amount of people who send me like support through all social medias. It's genuinely incredible, and I'm just sorry I can't get to like all of you and thank you all for like all the support you give me, but genuinely it does mean a lot, and hopefully it continues. But we'll see. Let's get into this. So I'm rambling a lot. Let's get into this and see.
Video was made possible by
Fucking hell, that's loud.
CuriosityStream. When you sign up at curiositystream.com/reallifelore, you'll also get
Getting
access
this money,
to
I see.
Nebula,
You know
the
how it
streaming
is.
video platform that,
Deserves it.
like, literally Lore is a part of. Most people's perception of the actual size of countries across the world are wrong. And most of the reason is because we're used to seeing this world map all the time. Like literally all the time. Google Maps, Apple Maps, and classrooms all across the world use this map, and it's not entirely representative of the true size of actual countries. I already made a whole video nearly 4 years ago explaining why and how this map
Oh, I might have to
distorts
check
the
this
shape
out.
of countries. But there's a lot of things that I didn't mention back in that video, so consider
wow.
this one a long overdue part 2. So,
Don't laugh.
let's get started first with islands.
Is it to do with no, I was going to say time zones. That wouldn't even make sense. Wait, I'm not even going to finish what I was going to say, because that would be the stupidest statement I've ever made.
I think it's fascinating to look at an actual size comparison side by side of the world's 15 largest islands, which, in order, are Greenland, New Guinea, Borneo,
Australia.
Madagascar, Baffin, Sumatra, Honshu, Victoria, Great Britain, Ellesmere, Sulawesi, the South Island
Where's
of New
Australia?
Zealand, Java, the North Island of New Zealand, and Newfoundland. Now, there's a lot of interesting stuff to unpack here. First off, let's look at the populations on all of these islands. Some of them, like Baffin, Victoria, and Ellesmere, despite being huge, are almost uninhabited, while Java, Honshu, and Great Britain are all incredibly crowded in comparison. The relatively small island of Java has more people living on it than the entire population of Russia, but their size
What is
differences,
Java?
well, pretty drastic.
wow.
Great Britain is a lot smaller than both the islands of New Zealand when they're combined, despite Great Britain being home to over 60 million people, and New Zealand not even being.
That's actually quite scary when you think about it. Like how there's that many people living in such a small area. It's actually quite. It's just scary, you know, because I mean, obviously overpopulation is a big issue, and I mean, yeah. To say overpopulation is an understatement for the UK.
home to 5 million.
In that
But that's
small
nothing when
space.
compared to Japan. New Zealand is
Oh, wow.
roughly the same size, but Japan is home to almost 127
Oh,
million
wow.
people, 25 times more than the number of people in New Zealand. And Japan itself is pretty huge. Here's what it looks like just off the east coast of the United States, where you can see that it stretches from Maine all the way
So it is
down to
relatively
Cuba.
big.
Or for a European perspective, Japan stretches from St. Petersburg in the north to below Sardinia in the south. But Japan is actually quite small when compared to the size of Indonesia, which will probably be bigger than you thought. For starters, here is Indonesia's actual size placed over the United States.
Okay.
And the distance from one side over to the other is actually greater than the distance across the entire continental US. And for a European perspective, the distance across Indonesia is greater than the distance of Ireland from Uzbekistan.
Oh my
Or for
days.
another perspective, here is Indonesia when compared to Russia. Indonesia is really
Okay, that is insane. Obviously, a lot of it's water, but still. That is insane.
Really big. But there's other weird, unexpected island geographies out there too. For example, let's take the Republic of Ireland and South Korea. You may think that finding a similarity between them would be really difficult, but you might change your mind when we overlap their borders with one another. Ireland and South Korea have very similar shapes and sizes, despite Ireland having a population of only 4.8 million and South Korea having a population of over 51 million. So while they may be similar in size, they aren't in name. Two places that are, though, are Georgia and Georgia. Georgia, the state, is more than twice as big as Georgia, the country, and with almost 3 times the population as well. With that in mind, I think if Georgia ever got into a fight with Georgia, I think that Georgia would most likely win out. Now, in my last video, I talked about how much bigger Africa is than most people seem to think it is, but I didn't talk about individual African countries and their sizes. Somalia immediately jumps to mind first because, well, it's really big. Placed over the US in actual size, Somalia stretches up from Detroit in the north down to Florida in the south and spans basically the entire east coast. For the European perspective, Somalia stretches from London through Germany and France before finally hitting Valencia in Spain. But there are other big African countries too. Kenya is almost the same size as Texas in the United States, or weirdly similar in shape to the old borders of the Holy Roman Empire when placed over Europe. But none of these compare to the Jupiter of Africa, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, which really is massive in every sense of the word. Placed over America, the DRC stretches from Miami in the south, juts out past Dallas in the west, and all the way up above Chicago and getting even into Canada up in the north. Placed over Europe instead, the DRC stretches from the south of Greece to Spain in the west and up to Belarus, Lithuania, and Denmark up in the north. The DRC in Africa alone takes up a significant part of an entire continent in land area, but we're still not done. Next up, we have to spend some time talking about Chile. Chile is, well, it's long. Very long. So long, in fact, if you flipped it on its side, you could nearly span the entire length of the US-Canadian border with it. And if you moved it over a bit, you could also span the entire Atlantic Ocean from Canada to Paris. If you placed Chile back to normal, but kept it in Europe, it would stretch from the top of the continent in Norway all the way down beneath Crete and near Libya in the south. Chile is, therefore, taller than Europe is.
Chile is huge. I know a lot of Chile is it the Andes Mountains? Like a lot of it's covered by the Andes Mountains, so a lot of it people can't live. But still, when you see it to this sort of scale, it makes you realise, like, but why? Why are the countries at the top made to look so much bigger than they are? I can't fully remember if I have seen a video or if I just know that is the case. Because I don't understand why that's the case, and it just really intrigues me.
Higher continents, which is kind of one of the main points that I'm trying to make in this video. Europe is a lot smaller than most people think it is. Traveling across Europe can take you through multiple languages and cultures in a short amount of time, which can give the illusion of a bigger size. But don't be fooled. To put into perspective just how much bigger the lands were that European empires went out and conquered and subjugated in the centuries past, here's a few examples. The Indian subcontinent, once ruled entirely by Britain, is almost as big as Europe is itself, and takes up almost every country west of Ukraine and Romania. And that wasn't even the only massive British possession. Let's take Australia, a genuine continent in its own right that pretty much does cover all of Europe from Portugal to Moscow, and from Turkey to the Norwegian Sea. The continental US over Europe too is basically also the same size as the continent, stretching from Portugal in the west to a little beyond Moscow in the east. But we're not done yet making Europe feel like a tiny place. Let's take Brazil next, which, like the others before this, basically spans most of the entire continent as well. Seriously, just stop and look at this for a moment. You can fit practically all of Europe inside of Brazil, and it was ruled for centuries by just this tiny little nub here at the end. And this is why Brazilian Portuguese is more widespread than Portuguese. Anyway, none of these really compare to what in my opinion is the biggest shocker in this list, which is China. When placed over Europe, China's gargantuan size is truly understood by most of us in the West for the first time. China pretty much is the size of Europe, except it's all ruled by a single government, its population is roughly double the size, and it's over 91% made up by the same cultural and ethnic group. In short, from a European/Western perspective, the world is sometimes shown to us from our point of view, which makes our countries or our continents seem much bigger than they actually are.
It's
The
a good,
fact
very,
is,
very good
the
point.
world is a huge place, and the West is just a small part of it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go on from here and learn more things about our planet that will blow your mind, CuriosityStream has a fantastic short documentary on the lost 8th continent of our
I mean, look, shout out to him getting his money. He deserves it because this video was incredible. But still, like, just this stuff, it's insane to me. Like, it's true as well because, like, you sort of see a country and you think the West is the be all, what's the saying? Be all, end all? Be all, something like that. And I mean, then you realise countries like China, countries like India, they're huge. Japan's like South Korea in terms of population or in terms of size. Like, it's just crazy to me. But I do want to look at the more reasoning again. I can't fully remember if I have seen a video on this or not. It's just in my own time. But I feel like this video and that up next may be in like the sort of, it may be a sort of about what I'm trying to find out here. So maybe I'll do a reaction to this in the coming days because I do really want to know that. I might react to it now and actually just post it tomorrow, but we'll see about that. But yeah, this kind of content I love seeing because it just opens your eyes, right? And it's just fun to see this sort of stuff. But let's read a few of the comments. Someone in Europe visits 4 countries in a day trip. Me in Australia starts in Queensland and drives a day and still in Queensland. Like Indonesia and the US in the thumbnail. Quite smart man. No, he knows what he's doing. Wait, what does he mean with that? Oh, does he mean like more people will watch it? I mean, I don't actually know, but maybe that's the case. That's interesting though. Thumbnail has Indonesia. Indonesia feels hello. I'm guessing Indonesians are like very sort of proud of their country as like Americans are. But there's other people who are as well. Like, it's not just those 2 countries to be fair. But maybe it was a good idea. I'm not actually too sure. Some people will say, where's Indonesia? Indonesia is a small country. Indonesian people. Please study geography. Great idea. Let's use Chile as a bridge between. It's a good idea, right? I mean, it's long enough to do it. This title should be titled Bullying Europe's Land Size. Honestly, countries the size of Europe is hilarious. Europe getting bullied by this video. Europe's size doesn't matter. Can we get a country that are way so smaller than you think? That's actually a fun video we could do as well. Like, if he did it, maybe I could react to that in future. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. It's a bit different. It's not really. It's the same sort of reactions I do. But if you want more of this kind of stuff, suggest them more in the comments and I'll be sure to do so. But hopefully you enjoyed. And until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.